Welcome back to another platinum. Here, this will be my first platinum video of me recording in 2026. Plus, it'll be my very first platinum to start off the year 2026. I am very excited for 2026. I have big games I am going to get to, so I've got a lot of stuff I want to get to, a lot of big games, some small games I have also on my backlog, but I've been meaning to play for ages. So I'm very excited for 2026, and I hope you are. So first here, we're kicking off the start of the year with a really good game I would like to get out of the way. And with that being said, let's jump into it. So in today's video, we are going to be platinuming the Need for Speed Unbound. Now, why I've done Unbound, this is also my first platinum for 2026 to start off the platinum journey in 2026. Why Unbound is right now on PlayStation Plus, you can get Need for Speed Unbound in your monthly games for free. Now, which is pretty good for a Need for Speed game for free. You get to play it, and I recommend the game. I recommend playing it. But before we talk about that, I do want to talk about right now, well, through the upcoming months, I would say, I platinumed my first Need for Speed Heat. The first platinum on Need for Speed was Need for Speed Heat. I platinumed that, and I kind of made a video on it. There is a clip of when I got the platinum, and that took me ages. And eventually, I wanted to get every single platinum trophy for all the Need for Speed games, which are on PS5. So not the ones, I know there's ones on PS3 you can play and all that, but I'm not playing any of them. All the ones are capable on the PS5. If they come to PS5, I will play them, but only ones on PS5. So I did Need for Speed Heat. My next one was Need for Speed, and then I did Need for Speed Rivals. So the only two I've not finished is Need for Speed Payback and Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. And Unbound was free, and I was going to do there was another game I was going to do, but I was going to leave Unbound, and I decided to not. I decided to do Need for Speed Unbound because I wanted to get closer and finishing the Need for Speed franchise. All the ones on the PS5, I wanted to finish off, try and get more of them finished. Anyway, we're getting too hard. We're getting too much ahead. We're going to talk about Need for Speed Unbound. So this is rated on PlayStation profiles. A 4 out of 10, one playthrough, and takes 40 hours. As you can see next to just the two platinums and above the difficulty, the playthrough and the hours, how long it took me to get the platinum. It took me 39 hours, just 1 hour under that 40. And this guide is actually very helpful, obviously, and the hours recommend, like what they think, is actually quite accurate. Now you can platinum this way quicker, but this is just how long it took me to do it. And then we've got a lot of collectible trophies and some story, unmissables, multiplayer, and I think there's another category I can't remember. But that's the main one. The hardest one's obviously been the multiplayer online. But honestly, the multiplayer in this game's not always dead. So, because it's the newest Need for Speed. But I do recommend playing it probably around this time it's free, because a lot more people are going to play it. And I'll be talking about some trophies, what I will be talking about. I won't go too much probably into the story, but I will mention parts about it. And I will mention more things about the actual trophies. So, with that being said, let's just jump right into it. So the first hour, I just kind of get used to the mechanics. I actually didn't like the mechanics straight away at the start. I kind of struggled with it a wee bit. I didn't really feel like Heat to me. Some parts do, but some parts just feels changing. I noticed there was a lot more change in the drifting. I just wasn't used to it yet. But it was eventually, when you'll see me through the other hours, through a couple more hours into the game, I'll start to get used to the driving and the driving physics and the way the car handles and everything else. So yeah, it was pretty good. So the first thing I was going on before I actually fully went into my first race, this is my first race I'm showing you right now. I was debating to go and do all the online stuff first, or do the story mode stuff first. Now, if I did the online first, I would have got the online out of the way, and I wouldn't need to worry about online later on. I could only just focus on the story mode. But when I saw kind of how the story mode is, I kind of leaned towards just completing the story mode, because I felt like, I don't know about any of you, if you've played this game, even if you haven't platinum it, but you've completed the whole story thing, let me know down in the comments. But I feel like this game, the story is very boring. Now, not a lot of people have hated on this Need for Speed game, said it's the worst out of the bunch. I don't think it's the worst, you know what I mean? But I don't know. See, a lot of people say this Need for Speed game is better than Payback, but I actually like Payback. Now that might get me killed in the comments, but like, I actually do like Payback. I think Payback is a good game. It is a good Need for Speed. It's got a lot of problems with it, does, but it isn't a bad Need for Speed game. Especially for me, I think it's one up there. Not one up there, my favourites, like, but one in a good one. It's alright with Need for Speed. But yeah. Anyway. The first part was the story, and basically in the story is kind of what I got it as, is like at the start this lassie annoyed someone or something like that and bragged about where she worked, and then your car gets stolen. I think it's whatever car you pick at the start, I can't remember, and I forgot the lassie's name. And then after that you got to do these qualifying weeks, so you get 7 days, and on the last day, on a Sunday, on the 7th day, you do a qualifier 1, and then you can go 2. If you qualify for 1, you go to 2, the 3, the 4, and then I think it's 4, 3, I can't remember. Then you go to the grand event, and that's like the final one mission base kind of mission of the story mode. And after that, it's kind of basically done. So yeah, it was pretty much just steal your car and get it back, and then that's really it. That's what I got out of the story, so I don't really, if you know wee parts more about the story, then you can also look it up. But also, I don't really like spoiling most of the parts of the story in my platinum videos, because I do want the games I play, I want people to experience them from themselves and actually enjoy the games themselves. Anyway, we're getting part in. So we're gonna go through the trophies, what we got in the first hour, and yeah, we'll see what we got up to. Okay, so I was just doing some more stuff for the game, and I did this mad side one. It's a mad, you stole the car and you just kind of drive it to the location, lose the cops and stuff like that. Ended up doing that, and I ended up getting a Bugatti and ended up hitting 200 Maranua. Now, I already had 7 trophies when I started the platinum. I meant to say that at the start. I already had 7. This was my 8th trophy. The next trophy I ended up getting was part of the story, and the trophy was new crew for completing qualifier 1. Now that was me through qualifier 1, and that took me about almost 2 hours just to get through qualifier 1. It honestly actually takes ages, because you got to go day, night, day, night, day, night. But there you go, that was qualifier 1 complete, just the rest of them to go. So the next trophy I ended up getting was the trophy for completing 30 street races in story mode. Now at this point, as you can see, I changed my car's been upgraded and that. I started winning more of the events. At the start, I kind of started losing more of the events, but now I kind of started to win more events, and I was actually pretty enjoying myself going through them. The weeks were kind of boring some parts, because the weeks felt so long. I just felt like I was there forever doing the weeks, and honestly that's what kind of made me a wee bit angry about this. It wasn't kind of like Heat. I don't know, Heat kind of had that perfect balance where it felt like you were doing the same thing, but like it just felt different. Like you had the daytime where you can make money, and at night you could make rep. Obviously this game, leveling up, there's nothing about leveling up in this game, which is kind of a nice thing, but it's also, I don't know, it just feels like there's a piece missing from it, and it didn't really feel good to me. It just felt like the days were going even longer. So when I got more through it, I was only doing like 1 race and going back to guys to try and skip days, because it was too long. And I just felt like at the start I was spending like an hour or 2 actually doing races, and properly doing them than actually just doing like one race and going back to the garage. I'm guessing a lot of other people done that because it is kind of boring unless you need the money, but I kind of at the point didn't need the money. And also the people you go up against. Now I think I'm in a A car tier or a A plus, and I was having problems sometimes with races, especially as white covert. I would always like, sometimes I would win, sometimes I would lose. I kind of had that bridge over for them until I got to like S. I had it a few times in S, but once I got to S plus, I kept winning. But yeah, the game so far was okay. As you saw, me getting the trophy, completing qualifier 1, was working my way towards qualifier 2, complete more races, getting used to the cars, getting used to the things. So I was pretty feeling quite good on it, you know what I mean. I wasn't playing Need for Speed Unbound all day. I was playing another game. I was working on the background with Need for Speed Unbound. You'll probably see that game in a future video. The game hasn't finished yet, but I have that part for that game and another part, so you'll see that video sometime soon, hopefully. But anyway, yeah, so I wasn't playing Unbound a lot, but I was playing it a good couple hours a day, and that's what the balance felt, because the story was so boring to me. So it felt like that balance of it was really good. But yeah, I just wanted to talk a wee bit about the story mode there. I'm going to really talk about more about it at the end and what I actually think about the game, and if I recommend people to play it and give it a try. And so yeah, so far we enjoyed it, but yeah, let's get into some trophies. So the next trophy I ended up getting was Escape Artist for escaping a Heat 5 cop chase and an A+ car in story mode. And the next trophy that came right after that was Most Wanted for escaping a Heat 5 cop chase in story mode. The next trophy I ended up getting was Oh It's On, and that was for completing Week Qualifier 2 part of the story, and that was very more the same with just doing one race and go back to garage, one race and go back to garage. So it got very repetitive and very boring, but there's that trophy. The next trophy I ended up getting was getting 75,001 story session. Then my next trophy after that was earn 1 million in story mode. Sorry for all the trophy pops, but there's not much really else to say about me going through these. So the next trophy I ended up getting was for completing qualifier 3. Now this trophy was actually pretty interesting. So in Heat you had to reach levels to unlock the better parts. But in this game you actually had to upgrade the garage. And I got my trophy for upgrading the garage, and I was fully maxing out the garage in story mode. And the last main story trophy was Found Family, and that was for completing the grand. So that was the story now finished. Now it was just to do all the collectibles activities and the online aspect of the game. Okay, so after doing all of the story mode on Need for Speed, we were starting to do the other starts part of the game, which we need for the platinum trophy. And the next thing was the collectibles. We still had all the collectibles, so that was all the bears, all the street arts and all the billboards. And then we had all activities. We had the drifting activities. We also had the speed traps, the long jumps, and the speed runs. The speed runs are new. I'm pretty sure they won in Heat the one. I'm pretty sure they won. Correct me if I'm wrong. So we also have them. As you can see from here, the next thing we started to do was the drift event, drift activities, because I really enjoyed drifting in the games, and I thought like for me Heat's like, I did Heat's drifting so many times. Doing the drifting activities are the most easiest, but I was kind of getting myself stressed out with these ones because I wasn't really good at the drifting straight away. Like, it felt weird. It didn't feel like Heat, you know what I mean? It just felt weird. If you've played this game and you've played Heat, like, you know what I mean. But eventually did end up getting that trophy. And so we started kind of doing stuff like that, and we also needed to do was the online trophies. So we had still a lot to do for it, especially the online trophies. By the way, at this time, and I must say this for people who are going to go for this platinum, on the activities, so when I've got 3 stars on these activities, that means it's done. So you only need 3 stars for the trophy. You don't need to beat the rival. You don't need to do that. I thought you needed to beat the rival, so I actually kept doing the activity events until I completed them, like fully. It wasn't until like a few more after this I started to realise, I looked at the trophy list and I actually noticed, and I made sure I looked up online and all that. You do not need to do that. You can, because there's the things in the one other activity in Need for Speed Unbound what you don't need for trophies, and that's hot laps. You don't need them for a trophy. There's no trophy, so if you're going for a platinum, you don't need to do them. You can do them for fun. If you just want to do that for fun, you can do that for fun. But I didn't even do any of them, didn't complete them. I just completed the ones what you need for the trophies. So yeah, I just wanted to say a wee bit more about the story. Also, the story was very boring. I didn't enjoy the story at all. I just felt like it wasn't much of a story. There was a lot of racing, so I kind of liked more of that. Cause in Heat, some people and other Need for Speeds, people say there was too much story for a Need for Speed game, because it's supposed to just really mainly be about racing. But I enjoyed more type of story, but plus the racing, like in a 50-50 situation. This had more like way more racing than actual story, so the story was only like 5-10%, and then the rest was just racing, which is not bad, but it's just not really what I prefer. And a lot of other people don't really enjoy this one, but the story and the game isn't bad. It's just we're just more people. I think more people are just really, they love Heat more. It's just like the way Heat was. It's just is kept them, so they want the type of standards what Heat was like, and the Need for Speed was like wanted to do something different, which I am very glad they did try something different, because if they just kept kind of the same feeling as Heat, it would just be boring, and Heat will end up going bad from the way it is. Heat ended and it was good, but like Unbound isn't bad. It's just not really my cup of tea. It's not really my Need for Speed game anyway. I played a few now, but I've mainly only played Payback and Heat. But Need for Speed Unbound just not really for me. It's not really my cup of tea, and I'm glad there is other people there who love Need for Speed Unbound, because I don't think it's the worst Need for Speed game. I just think it's not the best in my opinion. Personally, I do rather probably playing the story on Unbound, Payback. Though the Payback, though saying that actually Payback story is kind of like this. It just has more of a story, kind of a wee story, but the Payback's literally storyline is also kind of trash also. So yeah, I don't know, probably Heat. Like I love that storyline. But yeah, I just wanted to say a few more things before we get into more trophies. But with that being said, let's do some more stuff. The next trophy we ended up getting was for getting 3 stars on every single drift activity. Now, at first you saw me using the poster one. I kind of had problems drifting with it, so I ended up going using the super, but I normally use a lot for mainly my main car for the drifting, and it was really good, and I hope I finished the rest of them. So after completing the drift activities, when I went back to guys, I got my next trophy for owning 10 vehicles in story mode. Okay, so the next point I was going for after completing the main story and some of the story mode trophies was now the online aspect of the game. And first trophy I had to do was complete 1 in B. So you have to complete a playlist in B, A plus, S, and then S plus was the final one. So I went on and doing them. I had some people joining me through them, and just really, some of them I did by myself. I found out you could do it by yourself also. And yeah, it was pretty good. Honestly, very easy. I thought the trophies would be a wee bit more annoying, but honestly, very easy. Even if you lose, like you come second or something, it's fine anyway, because all you need to do is complete it. And it was also good because we didn't have to buy any vehicles. We had rent vehicles, so that was also really good, and it really helped to do that. And also it did get me really onto drifting. So I got better at pretty much all the drifting when I started to do more of them. I got really better the drifting, but the new drifting part of the game is really good. It was really helpful, and I actually felt like I had more control and more actual drifting in the vehicle. Now the online trophies, these online trophies are pretty easy, but there's some online trophies what are pretty annoying, which we'll be talking about when we get to them. There's a trophy coming up called Full House, and you'll see what happens when I go for that trophy. But there is all the trophies from B to S plus on the online playlists. So this next trophy was for using the burst nitrous 5 times in a lecture online playlist. Now I really just got this trophy by accident. Even the other two I just kind of did. I knew of them, but I just did them by accident. This one was really by accident, and the trophy's called Kick It. The next trophy was an interesting one, but it had the story mode. Same trophy that had in story mode, and that was for upgrading your garage to the max. So I ended up finishing that here and got all that trophy, access all areas. Same trophy, very easy, but I was just saving it till I got some other things done. And the next one I got was for owning 10 vehicles in the online garage. Again, the same one in the story mode. You're gonna see a lot. You see kind of the same ones. But I just bought a car because I was trying to get the trophy, and I ended up getting the collector trophy for owning 10 cars online. So the next trophy I was going for was inside a takeover event. You had to score 200,000 points. Now, so I looked up a video on that, looked up the ways to do it, and yes, trophy. This one wasn't bad, but there's another one for 250,000, which is even worse. It's even harder. But yeah, this one wasn't that bad to even actually try, and I actually kind of enjoyed the same of doing that. It kind of took a wee bit of, but once I looked up on YouTube and really what to use and what the best ways to do it, then I got really used to doing it. So after that, my next 2 trophies I was going for. The first one was collecting all the street art. Now these are very easy again. You just go to the location, find where it's located, and pick it up, and you have that trophy. So that was having a spot for collecting all street art. And then I was looking through the trophy list, and I noticed there's one trophy you have to escape 50 times from the cops in story mode. So what I did was I was in the McLaren, so I just went there and I just drove up and down the highway a few times until I got that trophy also. Okay, so the next trophy I was going for was Full House. Now, before I start talking about that trophy, there's a few other things that I went through experiencing trying to get this trophy, and I'm also going to say the best way, tell you the best way how to get that trophy. And I don't want to make this too long, so I am going to speak quite quick and not really fully explain it, because when you fully explain it, it'll be like 20 minutes long, and I don't want this one wee section for this video to be 20 minutes long. Anyway, so for the Full House, the recommend to actually get the trophy is you need 7 other people to complete a playlist with you, and you don't have to win or anything, you just have to complete the playlist, and that's playlist on Need for Speed Unbound are 3 races in one playlist. You can also get playlists with only 1 races, but most of the time when you're doing it with people, it's always 3. so you have to kind of keep them entertained. Now these people can also leave the playlist, so that makes it even harder. At first I didn't know the best way to do it, so I was on free mode, free roam, trying to get people to join. It just didn't work. Sometimes I got 6 and sometimes I got mostly 3, but I got 6 like once or twice and mostly 3. Sometimes it did start with 7 and then the person left. It don't count, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's kind of annoying. Anyway, I went on PlayStation profiles and I remembered they have sessions on PlayStation profiles after looking up some YouTube videos about how to get it. And I looked up sessions, because in sessions sometimes people have sessions booked up on there, like boosting sessions, play sessions, like just for fun, or anything, co-op stuff, boosting trophies, anything like that. Some people have that on the PlayStation profiles, and so I tried that and I typed up Need for Speed Unbound. I actually found a group who was going to do it, and they were going to do the boosting session for the trophy I needed. So I signed up and I joined the session. I was like, alright, let's do that, that's good, man. So, you know, at that point you're like, okay, you got the trophy, you just need to do these, help these people, they'll help me and I'll help them and we'll get the trophy. And then I ended up going like that, because it's my first time. I didn't really know what I was actually doing. So when the time came the session started, I actually didn't know what I was supposed to do. So I kind of just waited on PlayStation profiles and then kind of got impatient, and started messaging the people on the session to try and get them in groups and see who's got a group, and if they were doing stuff like that, you were supposed to message a person, because it didn't actually say the details. All it said is it can be changed, the time schedule, to suit everyone. So yeah, I didn't really know what I was actually supposed to do. Ever since this was my first time actually doing that. So yeah, so we went through. I messaged people for a few hours, and also I do want to say thank you to everyone who messaged me back. That was very helpful. People really tried to get me in the groups to help me get the trophy, and I appreciate it very much. So it was very helpful. I ended up spending basically the whole day trying to message people to try and get people to see if people had groups. I had almost attempts where I almost got in groups, but it just had some issues, like they couldn't add me because the group settings and all that stuff like that. So that was pretty annoying. But yeah, my last option was I messaged the person who made the session in the first place, and he said, and the person did say we can get the group, get a group for it. But they already did it. You already did with that other group. You already did it with a group, so they already had all the trophies. People I was messaging, most of them. So they were new people. So yeah, I went and just looked up on the guide on PlayStation profiles, the person's guide. I just looked through the guide, looked at the trophy, and I ended up finding there's a PvP mode inside of Need for Speed Unbound before you leave the guys. When you find a new session, you can do another mode, then free roam, and then PvP mode, and that is the best way to get that trophy full house. So that's what I tried. It took me about 3 attempts, and then I actually got the trophy. So we're going to jump into that now. And here we got the full house trophy. After all 3, I was so scared. I was trying to keep the people in that, and it kind of ended up working in my favour, because I ended up just getting a session where everyone stayed. Even the Spider-Man profile there, he kept coming last, and he stayed through the whole entire thing. And there we go. There's, my opinion, the hardest trophy in Need for Speed Unbound achieved. And the next trophy we ended up going for was the complete 25 online playlists in Lakeshore. So I ended up just playing the same drifting playlist, because that was the one I most enjoyed. So I just kept playing the same one over and over again, and I ended up getting the trophy mixtape for completing 25 online playlists. So the next trophy we were going for was Flow Master, and that was for scoring 250k points in the takeover events. Now the takeover events are kind of new, and you just have to, you get points by drifting, boosting, airtime, smashing through the objects, checkpoints, You also get multipliers and obviously bonuses and stuff like that. And yeah, there's a trophy, and oh my days, that was the second hardest trophy I think in Need for Speed Unbound. Now the most annoying trophy is the full house trophy, but FIFA actual hard trophies, this is probably the hardest trophy in the game, personally in my opinion, because it actually took me donkeys, and I mean donkeys, to do it. So I got the trophy in the full house, and straight after that I went in to do the takeovers. Well, after I did the online playlist, I did the takeover. I started doing the takeover ones because I thought it wouldn't take that long, because I got the 200,000 one on like the first or second try. So I was like, it won't take me long to do the 250. But you would not know, I literally spent 2 hours doing the same race 1 until I got the trophy. It was the most boring thing ever, and the most hardest thing to do. It took me so ages. One mess up, you lose your 5 times multiplier. You have to have the 5 times multiplier from the first time you get it, and keep it for the whole thing. If you lose it, you need to restart. It was so annoying to get, and I'm very glad I got it, but all I can say is just use YouTube videos and use a guide and just keep practicing on the same ones, and you'll eventually get it. And here's the trophy for reaching 250k. Now the trophy, the run I got this in, the trophy, the one I got it in, was actually pretty good run. I kept the 5 times multiplier the whole time, and that's what ended up getting me at 2 at the end. And I'm very glad I got this trophy done. And now all that's left is active activities and collectibles. So the next trophy I ended up getting was for completing all of the speed runs. Now at this point in the grind I was just getting all of the activities finished, because we had all of the online stuff done and all the main story stuff. So it was just the activities and the collectibles. But there's a trophy for completing all the speed runs. So the next one was for completing, getting 3 stars on all the speed traps activity. Now at this point there isn't much really to say about it, except for I'm just going to do this activity, do these activities and collectibles. So there's not really much. We got the trophy catch on camera for getting 3 stars in all speed traps. And then the next trophy after that was for completing every single long jump and getting 3 stars on all of them. These were pretty easy, just go to each location. Also a bit different from Need for Speed Heat though, I did see that most of them. But yeah, there's a trophy for that. Okay, for next set of trophies I was going for was all the collectibles after completing every single activity. The collectibles, what we needed left was to go through and get all of the billboards and all of the bears. So that was me doing all of the billboards, got every single billboard in the game. The next one I did after that was collecting all the bear champs. Now this trophy is obviously very easy. There is 100 of them, so they were very annoying to get every single one. But yeah, eventually I ended up doing that, and there's the trophy for collecting all of the bears in Need for Speed Unbound. So the next trophy I ended up getting was the trophy for getting all of the collectibles and getting 3 stars on all the activities. Very easy trophy. After you complete all that, you will get that trophy, and here's that trophy. And then there's the game finished. Need for Speed Unbound Platinum is complete. Okay, so that was the Platinum for Need for Speed Unbound, and I actually really did enjoy myself playing the game. I didn't really enjoy myself playing the story mode though. I thought the story mode was very boring and repetitive, but I actually enjoyed myself on the online aspect of the game. I think the online aspect is really good. I really like the online drifting playlists you can play. I really enjoyed them, and if I did see myself playing this game a wee bit more, that would be the thing I would probably play. And the Platinum journey is kind of straightforward with just some trophies what are kind of annoying and take a while to get, but no matter what, the trophies aren't hard, and I actually glad I got to experience Need for Speed Unbound. and I actually did go for the platinum and tried the game out. And would I recommend it? Yes, I would recommend this game to play. Even if you say a lot of people say they don't like the game, I would still recommend playing it and testing it out for yourself, because I don't think it's the worst game. I just think it's just a game. It's just had some problems and just not a lot of people like. But with that being said, that is the Need for Speed Unplatinum finished, and we've got 2 more Need for Speed games we need to get through. And before we end it, I do want to say the 100 mil challenge will be returning. I am going to make another episode on that in 2026, but I've not edited recorded the episode yet, because I'm going to be working on my next platinum, and my next platinum might take a good bit of time. So it should be, hopefully I can get it done, the platinum video, before February. Right now, the time I'm doing his voiceover is January 19th. Hopefully I can finish that before February, so I can get that ready to get out, so I can get back to the 100 mil episode, because we need to finish that 100 mil episode. But I just wanted to mention that at the end here, just to see. And yeah, but that's pretty much it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.